following is a presentation of Main Street Media, your source for news, sports, and information on Main Street in Middle Tennessee.
From preps to pros and everything in between, it's Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today. Live from the Lee Company studio with the Hall of Famer Mo Patton, here's Chris Yao.
Welcome into a Thursday edition of Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today. I'm Chris Yao, and I am sitting here in the media workroom of the Blue Cross Bowl at Finley Stadium here in Chattanooga, Tennessee. And to my left is the Hall of Famer Mo Patton. My right is JP Plant, and behind us, Columbia Academy Athletics Director Pernell Knox. What's up? I bet he was on the screen.
Somebody's always got to disrupt and photobomb, right?
I mean, hey, you know.
Well, I'll say this. If we're going to be photobombed, there are worse people to have been photobombed by.
There's that.
That's true. PK.
That is true.
Yeah.
So,
that is true.
Boy, we have got a great show for you. We are going to visit with Bethel University head football coach Mike Jasper. Later in the show, we've got TSSAA Executive Director Bernard Childress set to sit in with us as well. We may force Charles Pulliam to come over from his workstation at some point and say hello.
Actually, get him on video instead of just a still shot of it.
You know,
get him on video instead of letting him do the video.
There you go. He'd be on the wrong side of the camera.
Yeah, he won't know how to act.
Yeah. Man, but again, a great show lined up for you. Looking forward to it. Got a lot to talk about. Obviously, the Blue Cross Bowl state championships, as Lipscomb Academy has already won one of those.
Okay, now let me ask you something here, because I've always referred to them as gold balls. Here in the last few days, I've seen references to gold ball trophies. What's your thought?
I mean, to me, it's just easier to say it's a gold ball. We're playing for a gold ball.
There we go. Okay.
I don't know why. I mean,
let's not overcomplicate this.
Yeah, I don't know why we're adding trophy. It's clearly a trophy. It's a championship.
I mean, it's
not a belt.
It's a
gold ball belt. I mean, no.
Gold ball crown.
Yeah, it's clearly a trophy.
Yeah. So, yeah. Okay.
Welcome to the Office of Redundancy office.
The Department of Redundancy Department.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I just want to make sure we were on the.
Yeah, I think we are. I think we are there. We have again got a great show for you. Going to get right into it. We're going to talk about the lockout here in just a second. We've got some great quotes from Candace Parker. Talk about being on the same page. I think we're all on the same page with her.
I believe we are on the same page. And trust me, in this situation, Candace Parker is who you want to be on the same page with.
Yeah, no question. But before we get to all of that, let's give you a couple results. Literally a couple.
Two.
And today's schedule on the rundown.
This is the rundown. Let's do it.
The Thursday Rundown is brought to you by Barry B. Coble with Crest Point Wealth Management. Barry B. Coble with Crest Point Wealth Management offers personalized wealth management strategies for clients based on where you are in your financial journey. Go see Barry at Crest Point Wealth Management at 700 North Main Street in Columbia. Securities offered through registered representatives of Cambridge Investment Research Incorporated, a broker-dealer member of FINRA SIPC. Advisory services offered through Cambridge Investment Research Advisors Incorporated, a registered investment advisor. Crest Point Wealth Management and Cambridge are not affiliated.
In Wednesday basketball action at the junior college level, Columbia State's women and men went on the road and got sweeps. The Lady Chargers defeated Ball State 64-51. The men won in the nightcap 77-54. In today's high school basketball action, Columbia Academy plays at Providence Christian. It's Culleoka at Fayetteville. Summit is at Mount Juliet. And in wrestling tonight, Summit and Tullahoma wrestle at Siegel. Start time of 5 o'clock. And that's going to do it.
No, we'll get some pro stuff here. We got a couple right here. Memphis Grizzlies hosting Oklahoma City at 7 o'clock tonight. perhaps on Valley Sports. I don't know. The Boston Bruins visiting Nashville. They will be taking on the Preds again. That is at 7 o'clock as well. Puck drop. So there you have it. That is going to do it for your Thursday rundown. Coach Jasper sitting in, and we're going to get to him in just a few minutes. But first, I want to talk about, obviously, the Major League lockout went into effect yesterday or at midnight, whatever. Negotiations broke down way before midnight, so I don't think that's an issue. But did you know that you can technically sign players to minor league deals?
I did not know that.
Technically,
so, and I guess it makes sense since they're not in the Major League
That's correct.
Baseball Players Association.
Correct. I'm trying to figure out if we can sign Freddie to a minor league deal and then bump him up. If he gets 2 plate appearances, his contract goes to 6 years, 180.
I like the way you think. I like that.
Go ahead and get that out the way.
Yeah, there we go.
But have you seen some of the MLB has had to take down all of their graphics from the internet because they can't legally use those players' images now.
Oh, geez, no.
It's insane.
That's, speaking of unintended consequences.
I wonder who had to do all that. Like, that's frustrating.
That's
right?
got to be your social media department.
I hope you have a bunch of them.
Oh, I'm sure they do. I'm sure they got a bunch.
It's Major League Baseball.
Exactly. Yeah. Wow. Did not know that. That's interesting.
Yeah, I'm not looking forward to this lockout. First one since what, 90?
94. 94, 95.
I know we had the strike in 90. Is that the same thing? I think the lockout, whatever. I know contract negotiations obviously broken down, but they had one in 92 as well, right? Okay. Not looking forward to it at all. Moving on, because this is the one I want to talk about. Candace Parker, Gino Auriemma. They don't like each other.
Well, we don't know how Gino feels about
Actually,
Candace.
We do, according to Candace.
Oh, okay.
Candace said, I don't like him. He don't like me. We don't like each other.
Love it.
And you know what? That's
if
fine. Gino Auriemma doesn't like me, I ain't losing sleep.
Well, here's the thing. I
am not losing sleep.
Gino Auriemma don't like Candace Parker. Candace Parker don't like Gino Auriemma. I don't like Gino Auriemma. How's
exactly.
That?
I don't either.
Yeah.
That guy
so
he
can go
kick rocks.
Yeah. Or something. Yeah. Get him out of here.
Look, this is
because if you don't like Candace Parker, it's something wrong with you.
This all stems
That's a you thing.
This all stems from her exclusion on Team USA, where she won 2 gold medals in the last 2 Olympics. She was not included on this year's team. And the fact is that she had to go to camps, and she was she was playing like her MVP self at these camps, triple-double in the summer camps and that sort of thing. And she said, it frustrated me because I was missing time with my daughter, and I wasn't being judged on my on-court performance. I'm being judged on whether or not he likes me. And I'm not. That's ridiculous.
It was ridiculous that Candace Parker has to try out for anything.
Come on. She's literally the best women's basketball player in the world right now. She is the most valuable player of the WNBA. Won a championship. What more do you want?
But I want you to make me like you, and apparently that wasn't going to happen.
Well, no one cares whether Gino likes.
I mean, all that means is that Gino Auriemma doesn't need to have anything more to do with the selection of Team USA.
That is the bottom line. That's where this all needs to end.
Yeah.
Is he needs to be
because
out.
If we're going to bring personal agendas into the selection process, then let's find somebody that does like Candace Parker. I think they'd be a lot easier to find, like Dawn Staley, for instance.
I mean,
Yeah.
Well,
anyway,
the fact is that she doesn't care.
No.
She's like, look, I got my 2 gold medals. I'm happy. I want to.
Candace Parker has nothing to prove to anybody if she doesn't play another game.
There you go.
So
I want to stay in women's basketball here for just a minute because Kim Mulkey won her first game as LSU's coach just hours ago. I mean, yesterday, and the entire timeline of Kim Mulkey from Baylor to LSU is just insane. But I wanted to read this quote to you because I found it phenomenal from ESPN article by Michelle Vopel, who
Friend of the show.
Love it. So apparently LSU sold a program record 4,500 season tickets for her first season, 4,502 season tickets to be exact. LSU fan Patty Skurlock said it was like Christmas. We know she needs time, but we believe she's going to take us places we haven't been in a while. This is my favorite. Janice Gutro. GUI.
Oh, get your.
All right.
Anyway, it's Louisiana. Who knows?
However you pronounce it is probably wrong. Exactly. This is the best quote. Other people were saying, we can't afford her. I said, we can't afford not to have her. If you're talking about.
Speak on it, Janice.
I mean, that is phenomenal. I feel like she's going to do a great job at LSU. They didn't care about her Baylor baggage, for lack of a better term. And because, fact is, when women's basketball is a non-revenue sport and you want it to be a revenue sport, you got to go pay some money.
Yeah.
And they did it. And it at least worked out yesterday. They won a ball game.
It's going to work out a few more times.
Yes, it is, man. Looking forward to it. Coach Mike Jasper, how are you, man?
How's it going?
Man, we're doing good.
Enjoying
It's hot.
the weather.
Unseasonably warm.
But we're not complaining. Well, we're not complaining. Chris over here
The sunburnt kid,
not the sun drop kid.
I'm sweating a little bit. It's okay though. We're gonna get with you for a full segment here in just a few seconds. We appreciate you taking some time with us, but it's going to be a lot of fun. You looking forward to the Blue Cross Bowl, I'm sure, as we all are. Again, Lipscomb Academy, a 27-0 winner over CPA, and currently is Nashville Christian and Donaldson Christian playing. And later tonight, we'll have Montgomery Bell Academy and the hometown team, the only non-Middle Tennessee team to be playing in Division II.
Yes,
Collie Blue Tornado will defend their state title for the
titles.
Yeah, that's right. They're two-time state titleists. The Blue Tornado are. So looking forward to it, man. It's going to be a great one. Again, we're going to break down all of these games. We're going to talk about the remaining games, mostly Friday and Saturday games, all classes, class 1 to 6A. We're going to break all those down. We're going to get our final picks of the year. We're going to see if we can break this tie. Mo.
Okay.
We're going to see if we can break this tie. I'm looking forward to it. So before we get out of here, Mo, I just let's hand out some hardware real quick.
The End to Win Life Team of the Week, presented by Custom Stone Handlers, won a pair of games up at Wilson Central last weekend in a Thanksgiving tournament. It's the Independence Eagles, led by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint Player of the Week, Jet Montgomery, who averaged 22 points and knocked down 9 total threes in those two games, including a 29-point performance in a win over Wilson Central with 6 3-pointers. So congratulations to our Team of the Week, Independence.
The Eagles almost knocked off
Cane Ridge. And Alabama signee Brandon Miller. Yeah, played a nice game against them on Tuesday. Who is this looking?
Oh,
this dude.
Well, we appreciate, we are going to get out of here and take our first break of the day. We have, again, Coach Mike Jasper joining us on the other side of the break. So please stick around, because it doesn't get any better than what you were getting live from Finley Stadium and the Blue Cross Bowl. This is Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today. Come back on the other side with us right here.
Local sports talk you'll only find here. It's Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today. Live from the Lee Company studio with the Hall of Famer Mo Patton, here's Chris Yao.
Welcome back in Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint, coming to you live from Finley Stadium in Chattanooga from the Blue Cross Bowl, and enjoying this weather despite being very hot at our particular location right here with the sun behind us. That's okay. Not a big deal. We're gonna power through. We're gonna have a great show, and we're gonna continue bringing you up-to-date, timely, and comprehensive coverage of the Blue Cross Bowl on TriStar Friday Night Live. Don't forget, after each game, you can catch Mo, myself, and JP bringing you stats and instant analysis following each game right here on these same social media network channels. On Twitter at SM_TN Sports, also at Main Street Preps, and of course on all of our Facebook locations, you can find them there as well. Looking forward to this next segment because Coach's Corner is typically a high school coach that is doing something important or has an upcoming game or has just won an upcoming game, something like that. This week, though, we get the opportunity, thanks to the Tennessee Association of Football.
Tennessee Athletic Coaches Association.
There you go, TACA.
TACA.
Next door to us, we just said, hey, go grab a coach. And we got a good one. We like Steve Harvey.
Yeah, we got us a good one. Third-year Bethel University football coach Mike Jasper joining us here on Coach's Corner, which is presented by From the Heart Cafe over in Chapel Hill. Renee probably got her holiday menu together over there right about now, but she's still serving up those burgers and
those desserts. I can already smell them.
And if you're going from our Columbia listening area, just go across 99 till you get ready to turn right to go to Henry Horton. It's right there on your right. Don't turn left.
Don't turn left.
Yeah, but great stuff over there. She does a great job,
Yes,
and as does Coach Jasper. His just wrapped up his third season at the NAIA school down in McKenzie. Finished up 7-4, you said?
Yes, sir. Finished 7-4.
7-4, 2-1 against the top 8 teams in the country in NAIA, and got left home.
Yeah. Unfortunately, we didn't get it done.
Yeah, it's sometimes it's not how many, but who, huh?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's not who, it's about how many, apparently.
Well, that too. But, I'm excited to have Coach Jasper on, former Mount Juliet standout, former Bethel player. How many years in the league?
4 years.
4 years in the NFL. Went back to his alma mater and got started in college coaching. And after Brent Dearman's 1 year at Bethel, his college alma mater as well, and he went out to Kansas to work under Les Miles.
Yes, sir.
And afforded you the opportunity.
Absolutely. It was an extreme blessing to have Brent come back. He brought me back as the assistant head coach and had an awesome opportunity with Les Miles to go out there to Kansas and showcase that RPO system.
And so now got your own program.
Yes, sir.
Got to be pretty proud of that, especially, again, at your alma mater.
Yeah, it makes it extremely special to go back to McKenzie, where it kind of got started for me. So very proud to be back in McKenzie with Bethel University.
Again, 7-4 this past season, and doing it with a lot of local Middle Tennessee talent. And I would imagine you being a Middle Tennessee product, it's important to you to be able to get back into that area and be able to recruit and sell guys on your program.
Absolutely. Coming from Mount Juliet one of the reasons I got into coaching was to give back, and to mentor young people. And what better way to do that than to go back to where it kind of all started for me, go back home and get local talent. And we try to do a really good job of recruiting a 2.5-hour radius of McKenzie, Tennessee. So we love West Tennessee talent, Middle Tennessee talent, and obviously out here in East Tennessee. We try to, reach out a little bit, but great talent. Excited to be here today and see what's out there on the field.
We talked about this before,
Mm-hmm.
but you have an offer extended to a Middle Tennessee player that quite frankly, you shouldn't have any opportunity to get, but you will, and that's Brady Pierce.
Yes, sir.
And that kid is phenomenal. He'll be playing that 6A game with the Summit Spartans on Saturday night. And what is it about Brady that makes him so special?
I think he's just a phenomenal football player. He's what I like to call ball playing Jesse. He's a guy that he loves the game and the way it comes out in the way he plays. And Brady's not the only guy that we have offered from extended to out of Summit. Reed Maddox as well as another. Maddox Reed, excuse me, is an exciting young player, and put a little bit of weight on him. I think he'll be phenomenal off the edge. So really love that Summit team. They're special, but their head coach is also a Bethel alum. So that's my inside scoop.
There you go. I did not realize that.
I didn't know either.
Okay, today I'll TIL. Today I learned. Yeah. I don't want to put you on the spot, but at one time there was a young man in your program from our listening area who I'm not seeing on your. Oh, there he is. No, Dontavius Brown.
Dontavius Brown, phenomenal young guy. Yeah, out of Columbia.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir.
Is he still with you?
Dontavius is now, I believe, at Tennessee State. He came and he worked his butt off, and I got in some good shape, and then he moved on. So needed to come closer to home before the pandemic. So he left with our blessing.
Okay.
Wish him all the best.
Is he playing football?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Well, okay then.
Yeah, TIL.
You're learning everything.
Yeah,
we are learning everything today.
Yeah, because I'm looking up and down the roster and not seeing him. And last time I saw him, I thought he said he was still down there. But he's a ball player, I think.
Absolutely. His best football's ahead of him too.
Where was he playing when he left you guys?
Well, he was a large linebacker for us. I was thinking if he didn't, if he would have gained that freshman 35, he would have been playing DN for me. But he actually trimmed up, so we kept him at linebacker.
He was fun to watch.
Yes, sir.
On both sides of the ball and in both sports at Columbia Central. And we'll have to check on him down at TSU and see what he's doing with and for Coach George.
Yes,
but again, talk about some of your Middle Tennessee guys that have really helped you guys out here over the last little bit.
Just out of the Middle Tennessee area, I'll tell you one I'm extremely excited about. It was Vontae Bates. Vontae was we signed him as a wide receiver. He was an athletic kid out of Watertown. What wasn't as big as he is now. He dedicated himself to the weight room. Got to the point where we were like, hey, this guy's way too physical to keep him at receiver. So we moved him to safety. And the young man bought in and had over 100 tackles this year and was all conference. And we're blessed to have him back due to COVID. He actually was extended another year eligibility. So we'll have him back next year. And he's a key part of our defensive unit.
Full disclosure, and that was not a setup. But Vontae's uncle and I have been friends for 30 years probably.
Yes,
and I was at the Cumberland game over at Lebanon with his family watching him play. And I think everybody around him is excited that he's coming back for another year next year.
Mm-hmm.
And I know he was kind of beaten up and banged up at the end of the season. And so the opportunity for him to get healthy and get back out on the field next year, he may have some opportunities in front of him.
It's going to be critical for him to get healthy this offseason. That's what we're going to take care of him and make sure some of those soft tissue injuries don't nag him, because he did the display of athleticism and him buying into that safety spot at Rover for us, and the way he comes downhill and he has the cover ability. I think he'll be a small school radar guy real soon.
I'll tell you another one that has an opportunity to develop into that, and I didn't realize he was at your place until that Cumberland game, and that's the receiver from Waverly,
James Dixon. I was just about to ask about him because he's team leader in receiving yards.
Absolutely, JD broke he is only the second receiver in school history to have over 1,000 yards. He broke that record, and then was only a touchdown shy of his single season receiving, and he's only a freshman. So needless to say, I don't know if you can tell in my voice, I'm extremely excited about JD. He's also the Champions of Character recipient.
Wow.
When the floods happened in Waverly, he was instrumental in orchestrating us going to Waverly and getting boots on the ground there to help out in the community.
It's fantastic. Quarterback, Another Mount Juliet
Mount
kid.
Juliet boy, bounce back. Nolan Chaubey.
Nolan Chaubey, the younger brother of Caleb Chaubey,
Yes,
who's
sir.
currently on the men's basketball staff down at UT Southern. But Nolan, like you said, a bounce back comeback from Austin P.
Yes,
Now, is he going to have another year, or is he done?
He is done. We're going to get to work training with him. I think, he'll have some arena football opportunities. Live arm. I mean, the kid is special, and he actually broke the single season passing record. He beat Brent Dearman, and he beat one of the recruits I signed out of Buffalo, Sam Castronova's single season passing record and the touchdown record this year.
That's awesome.
So where do you go at quarterback then with him gone, do you feel like?
We hit the recruiting trail. That's why I'm here. So I got to find me another. We got a couple young guys on the roster that they're going to compete this spring. Extremely excited. The news just broke. We signed Rivers Hunt out of Hardin County last year. Big arm kid, athletic, dual threat guy that was at Austin P. So he's going to transfer to us, and obviously it worked once before. We're going to try it again.
So those Austin P quarterbacks,
they're doing something over there. Yes, sir.
It's a pretty solid program just in general. So once you get kids who have gone through that program and gone through that, which they've had a couple of coaching changes in the last couple of years, but being around successful programs has to help your kids because they bring that mentality with them.
Absolutely. And being at the NAIA level, I tell my staff all the time, when you recruit these kids, and this is how I was, I want every kid to go and play Division I football. But at the end of the day, it's a privilege, an honor, and a blessing to play college football at all. So some of these kids we're going to recruit, we're going to develop that relationship knowing in mind that they're going to go to these FCS schools. They're going to go to the Martins. They're going to go to the Techs. They're going to go to Austin P. And then if things don't work out there, we let them know that, hey, you always have a home here at Bethel, and then we get them and they bounce back. But the benefit of that is they've been in the Division I weight room, all right? They've eaten that meal plan, and they've been around that level of competition. So when they come to us, they're pretty teed up and they're ready to go, and that stuff can be contagious throughout your program.
Coach, when you're recruiting that kid that winds up going to the FCS level or wherever it is that they wind up going other than your place, do you and your staff kind of look at each other sometimes and say, he'll be back?
Every once in a while, yeah. And it's a double-edged sword because sometimes you build those relationships with these young men and you're like, I really hope he goes and he's successful. I want the best for him. But at the end of the day, you know that, hey, the guy's really good, but he's going to need a year or two. And when you go there, everybody's not made for that. Same thing with JUCO. That's why I love recruiting Nashville and the inner cities as well, because everybody's not made for JUCO life. But I have an opportunity, right? It's a different ball game. But we extend a great opportunity for the young people, and we love to take care of Tennessee athletes.
I finally got on the Last Chance U bandwagon. I was a little late to the party.
We had to push him into it, but once he got there, it was a fun ride.
I think I watched 2 seasons in a week, maybe. But that's pretty real, isn't it?
Yes, sir. It is. And I always joke with my guys too. I said, they're not the Last Chance U. Bethel's the Last Chance U.
It's funny. I had a friend that coached junior college basketball, and everybody used to talk about junior colleges being the wild, wild west. And he told me one time, we're not the wild, wild west. NAIA,
yes, sir,
because you guys can sign people year round pretty much. I mean, y'all don't have a signing day.
Yeah, we use the National Signing Day as our benchmark, obviously, because the kids want to sign with their teammates. But I can sign a kid at any point in time. They can sign that letter of intent, and it's good to go. So we're always recruiting.
ABC always be closing.
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
So not only do we have Middle Tennessee talent, got a little Walker County talent out of Walker County, Alabama. Jasper kid, Carbon Hill kid. Look at you,
yes,
Coach.
Yeah.
Get down to Walker County.
We do,
That's
man.
what I'm talking about.
Coach Brown on our staff is from Athens, Alabama. So he shoots down there, hits North Alabama and on down through there. So like I said, we try to go out and find them, and that's the blessing of being at Bethel. We can scholarship every kid that's on my roster. There's no scholarship cap. So we're trying to extend opportunities to any and everybody that we can that loves the game of football.
Man, how do you – and I want to ask you about – because I guess it was last year Independence went over to Laverne. You've got Ray Banner on your program. Kid is just a phenomenal athlete.
Love Ray.
How do you see him in this program?
Ray is going to benefit greatly from this offseason, and he is already fired up. He's one of the guys that's always blowing my phone up, ready to go. So Ray will benefit this offseason. He'll be a change-up back for us, a true athlete, but he's pretty dynamic.
Coach Mike Jasper of Bethel University joining us here on Coach's Corner, presented by From the Heart Cafe in Chapel Hill. Coach, thank you so much, man. We appreciate you.
I appreciate you guys for having me.
Glad that you brought the shade. We'll be back on Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today right after this, so stick around.
Covering the teams you care about. It's Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today. Once again, live from the Lee Company studio with the Hall of Famer Mo Patton. Here's Chris Yao.
Welcome back in. Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Chris Yao, Mo Patton, JP Plant here, coming to you live from Finley Stadium and the Blue Cross Bowl. Sitting in to join us for a few moments is all the way from Springfield, Tennessee. I couldn't think of the darn name of the town. Is Charles Pulliam, coming to you also live right here. He's actually on video today. This is amazing.
I don't know what to think.
This is so wild. But
yeah. We're all in the same place.
What do I do with my hands?
I know. I don't know what to do with my hands.
Well, what's crazy about this is that Charles is getting to be at home behind a headset.
Yeah.
Having spent as much time as he has here over the past month or so.
It's a little different being on the sideline, and I don't remember it being this warm. What's going on?
Especially this time of year.
Yeah.
I wasn't ready.
Yeah.
I mean, I was, but I wasn't.
No.
You know, like you feel like, oh, it's going to be 70. I'll just wear a light jacket. No, it's hot.
Nope.
Like,
Sure.
I mean, the sun
I
is
don't
out.
think it's 70.
Well,
one
that's what it was
thing.
supposed to be.
Yeah.
And it may be 75.
Yeah.
It is wild. But
Shorts tomorrow for sure.
can talk a little bit about the 6A state championship coming up on Saturday night. It is our fast stop game of the week featuring the Summit Spartans, undefeated, 14-0, 25? Yeah. 25 game win streak. And they are going up against the defending Class 6A state champion, Oakland Patriots. So this is going to be a good one.
Jeez, a couple juggernauts.
Right? I mean, when you think about Class 6A, state championship games, this is the kind of thing you're looking for. I mean, no disrespect necessarily to Brentwood from last year, but you went into that game thinking if Brentwood wins, it's a miracle.
Yep.
You're not going into this game thinking if Brentwood wins, it's a miracle. You're thinking Summit's got a chance.
Exactly. And it's that opportunity for Summit too, thinking let's have the ultimate test lined up for them now. How good is this team? They're at full strength. What are they going to do? It's a big deal. It's pretty neat to think about. And I think he said it pretty good about
To be the man, you got to beat the man. That's a Ric Flair.
And
it's
Oakland,
not a Dusty Rhodes quote, but it's a Ric Flair quote.
And Oakland has pretty well established themselves as, quote, the man.
Oh, yeah.
And if they had not before last Friday night, they have now, because that state semifinal game between Oakland and Maryville that has become, as Chris likes to call it, appointment football, never had the visiting team won that matchup regardless of where it was. So for Oakland to go to Maryville and win.
Well, and Maryville hadn't lost at home in the postseason since what,
99.
99. Yeah.
Not
Wow.
this millennium.
Yeah, exactly. These kids weren't around yet.
Literally.
Yeah.
So
coaches might not have been around. So yeah, that's a pretty significant victory for that Oakland team, and a guy, Kevin Creasy, who is not he's had his share of significant wins. He's 95-6 at Oakland coming into this ball.
Yeah, when you say it out loud even more, it's like, wow. Wait,
95-6. Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah.
How many of those were to Maryville?
Oh, that's
At least 3.
Yeah.
So there you go. I mean, that's nuts. That he's. I mean,
you remove Maryville from the equation. He's 93 and what?
Yeah,
3.
And
That's insane.
Wow.
And the question when he got to Oakland from Trousdale was, he's from Trousdale. Well, apparently what he does works anywhere. Oh, good Lord. Look at that duo.
Kelly
Holcomb and Chip Walters,
Walters.
getting ready to do the Division II-A game between Donaldson Christian and Nashville Christian. Kelly Holcomb, who I covered in a Blue Cross Bowl or in a state championship game for Lincoln County, and Chip, friend of the show. So, yeah.
A Lincoln County great there. Jeez.
Oh, legend, man. Yeah. Went on and played at MTSU and played in the league. And
legend, wait for it, Derry.
Go ahead.
This 6A game, Charles, when you're talking about the Wades and Brady Pierce and everybody else on that offense, I mean, you can get caught up But what's special about this team is their defense. This Summit defense has been phenomenal. We just talked about Maddox Reed, who has a standing offer from Bethel University. Brady Pierce on the defensive side. Of course, Keaton Wade, the linebacker. But they just have so many great players that are able to do their job.
Mm-hmm.
That's all they do. They do their job, and they do it well. Finley Jamison. What is it about this defense that makes them so successful in the most difficult region in Class 6A?
It is pretty unique in a way. And then thinking at the same time, it's almost an overlooked group there too. You talk about a Finley Jamison, for example. What's he wrestle? 152, 145, somewhere in there. He's not the biggest guy, but he's going to bring the heat. And I think that starts up front with a Brady Pierce, same kind of guy, often overlooked, but I hope people are continually trying to see the potential of this kid and what he can do, because he's a football player, period.
and you say that in the most complimentary way. He is a football player.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that catch that he made down the middle against Hendersonville while he was being interfered with, to set up a touchdown,
you could plug him
offense,
anywhere.
defense. He really is a plug and play type
Punter.
guy.
Yep.
Yeah.
Returns
Returner.
punts.
Yeah. What doesn't he do is the thing.
Literally anything you want him to do, he can do.
And he's finding success at it. We, I think of that going back to last year was really that fun breakout game on the big stage for him.
Yep.
Us that, those of us that have covered him through those years, we really, you knew he was a big guy for that team all of last year, but it was that breakout performance everybody got to see on the big stage.
Third down catch that set up the first touchdown.
Yes.
Then, of course, the touchdown later in the game, and then the pick six.
It
was just like whatever he needed to do to cement his name in Summit legacy, he did it.
And now it's even more so. And on top of that, he's inspiring the other guys behind him more so. And that's talking to Finley Jamison after that Hendersonville game. That was the kind of thing he mentioned too, was just seeing my guys go out there and give it their all. I have to give it my all as well. And that's just unspoken of and easy going.
When I did that story on Brady right after the quarterfinals win, I believe, I asked Keaton Wade, I said, Keaton, do you feel like you can be more aggressive because that 13's in the back and he's going to have your back. So, Keaton Wade saying a 5-star recruit, guy who's going to Kentucky, that kind of thing, a guy like that, All-American, says, I play better because I know that I don't have to worry about what's behind me. That is the biggest compliment.
Ultimate. Oh, wow. Yeah.
What more can you ask for from a teammate?
He makes me better, and I'm an All-American.
There you go.
I mean, and yet.
Exactly.
He's holding an offer from Nicholls
Bethel.
State and Kentucky Wesleyan. Those are his two biggest offers.
Oh, man.
You tell me. It doesn't make any sense.
No.
I got a feeling there's going to be some college coaches tonight or Saturday night who get a little bit of an awakening.
I hope so. And if he hasn't proven himself yet already, I mean,
it's tough. It's got to be tough for him because he's got to be sitting there thinking, what have I got to do?
What else can I do? I just went one-on-one against a Michigan signee
and beat him.
Yep. But you see, at the same time, I just chatted with him on Monday, actually, and realizing how his mindset is still
doesn't matter.
I don't care. I'm just doing what I do, and I like playing football, and I'm not bad at it, but I'm just trying to get better. And even with all that stuff that's out there, all the things of like, hey, you're getting overlooked, you're not big enough, or whatever, he just goes out and plays, and he plays at the highest level.
And the thing is, he's gonna have an opportunity to play somewhere.
Yeah.
And it sounds like maybe that's all that matters to him.
I think so. And because he's going to excel.
Exactly.
Wherever it is.
Exactly. How does this defense stop Mr. Football candidate finalist Jordan James and this potent Oakland offense? I mean, they have the horses to stop them, but there's also got to be some scheme involved too, right?
Well, I think it was you, Chris, that raised the point that Brady made after that quarterfinal win over Ravenwood when they were getting ready to play Hendersonville, and they felt like the opportunity to play Hendersonville, if they could get past Hendersonville, would serve them well against Oakland because they would have already seen some wing T against Hendersonville.
And then you've got Brian Coleman, who's a wing T coach,
Exactly.
already has an understanding of the offense.
They kind of got a tune-up for it, in a way. Yeah.
And not against their scout team.
Exactly.
I mean, your scout team is great, but your scout team is not Jordan James. Now, Ellis is similar and probably gives
Torrin Baker is similar.
At
well,
least
look what he did initially there, too. As the defense was feeling him out.
That's right.
He busted up the middle for 60.
So maybe there's not that feeling out process this time around because they've just seen it for 4 quarters the week before.
Yep.
That's kind of what I'm thinking, is that was a big help for this Summit defense. They're not going to have to make as many adjustments because the adjustments will have already been made based off of what they saw last week. I'm excited, man. It's going to be one of the best football games that we have seen in the last couple of years. You know, Summit's last 2 championship games, they were blown out 2 years ago by Knox Central. They blew out Oak Ridge last year.
Exactly.
I don't think this one's going to be a blowout, fellas.
I don't think so either. No.
You know, I know this is our game of the week, I know we are very short on time. But before we let Charles go, I think we have to ask, what are your thoughts about the 5A game tomorrow night between Powell and Page?
Well, that was talking to those guys on both sides, sitting in on that presser on Tuesday. These are 2 teams that lost in the first round last year, and now they're playing for a state championship, which is just special for both teams. And specifically thinking of these Page boys, this school has never been here. So I'm doing a fun little sidebar story, talking to the Walker family, and I think it was Uncle Gerald that was on the 98 team. And well, he's got his nephew playing tomorrow, trying to take it all home. So I think both these teams are going to come in. They're going to come in prepared. They're matching quarterbacks essentially, and that's going to be which quarterback's going to be able to make the biggest impact, I think, on that game. Jordan Potts for Powell is special. Jake McNamara for Page is special. Which one's going to get the most out of it?
It's going to be a lot of fun. Again, Summit, Oakland, 6 o'clock Central, 7 o'clock Eastern on Saturday night. It's going to be a blast. Cannot wait. Charles, thanks for taking some time with us, man. We appreciate it as always. Twice in 1 week. What are we going to do?
I don't know. You got to deal with Joe next week.
But we may get Joe twice next week.
We might. Go. We got that Nashville Fairgrounds thing. We'll be back after this. We've got Executive Director of TSSAA, Bernard Childress, joining us, so stick around.
Local sports talk you'll only find here. It's Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today. Live from the Lee Company studio with the Hall of Famer Mo Patton, here's Chris Yao.
Welcome back into Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint, coming to you live from the Blue Cross Bowl, Finley Stadium here in Chattanooga. And as you can tell, we're still struggling with the time change. But it's okay. We will make it work. Oh, man. Looking forward to the completion of this weekend and the culmination of a fantastic high school football season, one in which we didn't know what to expect early in this season. And as the season wore on and September came to a close, and it kind of felt like the Delta variant of the COVID-19 virus was fading away, and teams were able to pretty much get almost every, I think what we have, maybe
with rare exception.
Yeah, maybe 20, 25 games in the last couple of weeks there.
I think there was only one playoff game.
And only one playoff game that may or may not have been.
Yeah.
We'll just leave it at that.
I cannot believe you saying that.
Nonetheless, joining us now is TSSAA Executive Director Bernard Childress. Man, thank you for taking some time again. We had you on the show last year. It was a fantastic time, and we just appreciate you taking some time today as well.
Well, thank you all for having me on, and as I've always said, thank you for what you all do throughout the year for our young people. We just appreciate you being here, and it's a pleasure being on.
To follow up on what we were
alluding to,
hopefully this won't be a problem or an issue going forward into the 2022 season. But would you expect to put anything into place to where if somebody says, sorry, we've got COVID, we can't play, that there is something that they have to do to prove that is actually the case?
Well, that goes all the way back to our board meeting prior to the season ever starting. And when we met with them, we looked at it and we said, we feel like we need to keep our current COVID-19 regulations in place. And that was, if a team has COVID and cannot participate, then they try to make the game up. Of course, you can't do that in the playoffs, but if they can't make the game up, then the team that did not have the virus would receive a win, but it wouldn't penalize the other team. We said at that point, we feel like the other team we were at the point,
mm-hmm.
told the board, we were at the point where we felt like teams are maybe playing games with us, and if they have to forfeit, if they have to can't play the game, then they should receive a forfeit, as opposed to it's just a no contest. The board didn't agree with us. They wanted to leave it as is. But I get your point. Believe me, you all talked about it. We got a lot of phone calls, and there was really nothing we could do because the board had tied our hands and said, it is what it is. But going forward, hopefully we can eradicate this virus. Won't have 10 more.
To where it won't be an issue.
If somebody has COVID in round one of the playoffs next year, it's not going to be a question of whether it's true or not.
Right. And just get this behind us. It's been a long 2 years, but fortunately, we can make it through this weekend. We would have finished our fall sports again this year.
It's phenomenal to think about that, considering
really
where we were.
Yeah. Last year we were sitting here in drizzle.
I was about to say
outside, windy, trying to hold a tent down. This year we're sitting here wishing we were in short sleeves. We're in this media workroom here at Finley Stadium. I think this had to be what was envisioned in moving the Blue Cross Bowl from Cookeville to Chattanooga?
Well, it definitely was. We've done a lot of work in the past. Like I said before, we've done a lot of work in the past with the people at Chattanooga Sports. And although this is new for football to be here, we're not new in Chattanooga, and I think you all know that. So we felt very comfortable coming here. It's amazing you mentioned the weather. I just met with my staff just before I came in here, just to go over, okay, how are things going? We got a few kinks here, there that we need to work out. Nothing major. And I just told them I coordinate the entire thing. I approve everything that they're doing. And I had one major responsibility this weekend was the weather. So, you know.
You took care of it.
So you took care of what you were supposed to take care of.
I'm trying to do what they asked me to do.
Well, Chamber of Commerce weather for the entire weekend, it appears. So I'm not going to complain too much, even though we picked a bad spot.
Just to set up in, yeah. We will get that fixed tomorrow.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I think Josh Strickland has already gained as many yards as he gained in the first game against Donaldson Christian.
Well, there you go.
After an interception in the red zone for the Eagles. But what is he telling me not to do that? Can I not do that?
For those of you who aren't, yeah, well, there's that.
Oh,
but,
my bad. I know. Yeah, never mind. My bad.
No play-by-play, Mo.
Yeah.
That's Chip Walter's job.
Yeah, well. Anyway.
Oh man, this is phenomenal. So, what was it about Chattanooga, and or was there something that made this the place to be?
Well, what a lot of people do not know is that we work with Chattanooga several years about bringing our football championships here. When Cookeville and I believe it was Clarksville put in a bid the last time, Chattanooga went all the way up to the last day, the deadline, and then pulled out. And the reason they pulled out is because of some things that we had asked them to do that we weren't satisfied with, and that involved our teams and how the teams were going to dress, where they were going to dress, how they were going to be transported into the stadium. They couldn't work that out at that particular time. Probably if they had worked it out then, we probably would have been in Chattanooga well before now, because everything else we've been very, very pleased with. And that's not a knock on anyone in Cookeville. When we were
absolutely.
there, they did a fantastic job the number of years that we were there. But change is good, and we think this is going to be a good change, and so far it has been.
When you heard last week or the week before last that Tennessee Tech has a major athletic upgrades project online, did that catch your attention?
Well, not really. I mean, because they had been to the board a couple of times saying that this was in the works. But what they asked of the board at that particular time was, we need donors. We can get some commitments, but the people that are willing to make the big donations to the upgrades in the athletic facilities said that if we could get a long-term deal with TSSAA to keep our championships here, they would donate the money. They came to the board and asked the board if we could write a 20-year contract to be in Cookeville, and then they could upgrade their stadium and felt like they could get the donations. What I said to the board at that time is that that's not fair to anyone in this room. So I said, I don't commit to anything for 20 years, and I don't think that this board should do that. I said, we need to really not have any contracts past any classification period, because we don't know what's going to change, And so it didn't surprise me that they are going in that direction. I'm glad for them. But it doesn't change the fact that we're here now, and we thoroughly enjoy. So far, we've enjoyed being here and working with the people here in Chattanooga.
In the event that Cookeville does submit a bid, though, I mean, that has to be a factor going forward.
Oh, absolutely. every time the bid process comes around,
Sure.
any city that's interested can submit a bid, and we'll do our due diligence, and we'll be able to make our recommendation to the board, at that time.
And I would imagine that you expect Clarksville to continue to bid.
They may, but now that they have the Tennessee Athletic Coaches Association All-Star Game, they've kind of backed off a little bit. And but now they have a new administration, of course, athletic administration at Austin P.
And doing some big work
They
on
are.
their facilities as
They really
well.
are.
Austin P has really decided to go all in on athletics, and I've been really impressed with what they've done. I'm looking forward to what they are doing. I don't know that I would want to necessarily have championships there. I'm not saying I wouldn't, but what we have seen here has been, a first-class operation. You go out there and you look at that stadium. It's a perfect setting for a championship affair. I mean, the FCS thought it was for years and years.
Absolutely.
So
I think they did that for 14 years here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So they know how to put on a championship atmosphere, and they have continued to do that here with the Blue Cross Bowl. And as we sit here on Thursday with 2.5 more days to go, it's not going to get any worse. I can tell you that. So, Bernard, when the TSSAA puts its championships on these championship events, what is the role of your administration? Are you guys just kind of liaison, or are you really involved in every little intricate detail?
We're involved in every intricate detail. We're running the event. We don't ask them to run our championships. That's what we do. We put on championships. We just ask them to maintain the facility and work with us. And they have a team of people that work with us, and we let them know what we need. And that's how it's done in every one of our state championships. We don't think it would be fair for us to go anywhere and said, okay, we're here. You run our event. No, we're running the event, and we're involved in every detail.
One of the things that I'd heard coming into the week was that I guess there were like ambassadors in Cookeville that were assigned to each of the individual teams that helped them with some logistical issues. Was that the case here as well, or did that not happen? And if not, why not?
Okay, they did not actually. The years that we were in Cookeville, at every one of our semifinal games, they sent someone, and they got with the winning team's administration, the coach, after the game, and just gave them a packet of information and said, if you need us during the week, read this. Well, I'm your ambassador. Chattanooga chose to wait until they got here, and then they did assign an ambassador to every school. They reached out to our schools. We reached out to them and let them know they did not go to the games, but they did have someone, and they do have someone that just takes care of every detail. I was down there talking to CPA right before the game, the administration of CPA, and they were just thanking us they were looking for somewhere just to have a pregame meal. And they said all we had to do was just call our ambassador. They set it up. They really wanted to bring their own meal in. They found a cafeteria in a school that was available for them to just bring their team there and eat, be by themselves. So all of those things are taken care of, where coaches don't have to worry about those things.
Awesome. Bernard, thanks for taking some time with us. We appreciate it.
Thank you all for inviting me over, and I'll be glad to do this anytime. As I said before, I thoroughly enjoy sitting here talking with you all and appreciate what you do.
Absolutely. We'll be right back after this, talking more Blue Cross Bowl.
sports talk show you've always wanted. It's Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today. From preps to pros. Live from the Lee Company studio. With the Hall of Famer Mo Patton, here's Chris Yao.
Welcome back in Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. And we are coming to you from Finley Stadium in Chattanooga, site of the 2021 and 2022 TSSAA Blue Cross Bowl football state championships. Man, we get a chance to talk about. We're going to talk about 6 games. I mean, I guess we could talk about the one that's coming up later tonight, because as soon as we get off the air, it will be kicking off as NBA and McCallie face off tonight in the final D2 matchup. But let's might as well. Let's start with it. What do you say?
Okay.
What, is there any way that NBA can even be in this game?
Sure. And I think this might be one of those games where your best defense is your offense. And if Marcel Reed and Red Hales and the Big Red offense can control the ball, control the clock, keep McCallie's William Riddle on the sidelines, they probably got a chance to, keep it close into the fourth quarter. And at that point, anything can happen.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, Marcel Reed is a phenomenal football player. And you don't typically think that a single football player can make that big of a difference, maybe at the highest classification of private schools or at the highest classification of public schools like Destin Wade does. But those two particular players are just – they are next level. And
they're both so dynamic.
They bring so much athleticism to that position that it's hard. If you try to stop one thing, he's just going to beat you with the other thing. And you